Consciousness and Understanding. Channelings from Clyde Trepanier. Volume 4 continued. Sessions from 1962, March through April. Thursday, March 8th, 1962. Peace be with thee, beloved. I am Anthon. Since you are familiar with the teachings and the quotations of the great teacher that you call Jesus, I shall use his, or rather, I shall quote from his teachings. In your scriptures are written these words: "He who has eyes, let him see, and he who has ears, let him hear." How few in this civilization since his time have had the eyes to see or the ears to hear. Often he spoke in the first person, and your religious leaders to this day are still accepting this as such. For instance, "Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you peace." Does this mean to you that he must be accepted by you as your personal Savior? That by believing what he has said, and by only doing this, will you come into the peace of which he spoke? "I am the way and the light. He that believeth in me will have everlasting life. I am that I am." Is it not ridiculous that one man should accept all of this responsibility unto himself? How few of your people are able to conceive the idea of the "I am" of which he spoke, of the "me" of which he spoke, the "I am" in him, the "me" in him, and also the "I am" within you and the "me" within you. If we were to take literally these things without proper interpretation, would there not be many contradictions in the statements of this great teacher? For he spoke of the Father which was in heaven, and also said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you. All these things that I do, ye also can do, and greater things." Then how can such ridiculous teachings be brought from these words? Yet we find this coming from the mouths of some, or most, of your so-called great religious teachers. Teachers who are leading people, teaching them, attempting to give them spiritual understanding. "I sought thee madly through the temples, and I found thee not. Anxiously I climbed to the mountaintops searching for thee, and I found thee not. Through the valleys I trod, searching here and searching there, and I found thee not. Then upon the oceans I sailed for many moons, searching through the night and day. More desperate I became by each setting sun, for I found thee not. And then, as I sat quietly in the solitude of my humble abode, pondering deeply, searching deep within my inner soul, there I found thee, and with thee I found the peace that through many lifetimes I had sought. Peace be with you, my friends. Peace. Friday, March 23rd, 1962. Good evening to you, my friends. I am Yom. It gives me great pleasure to come among you again and to enjoy your presence, your vibrations, and to spend a few minutes with you. More and more people of Earth are becoming aware of the tension in the world today, of the chaos that exists. Man is beginning to wonder where all this will lead. What will be the outcome? When he discusses this with his friends, he does not express his true feelings or his true fears, and fear is becoming more and more predominant in the minds of the masses as time passes. He sees your people's leaders trying to come together in agreement, attempting to avoid complete disaster. He sees that among them there is so much distrust, hatred, and greed that he wonders how any possible agreement can be reached in such an atmosphere. Of course, he is right, for in such an atmosphere, it is impossible to reach a satisfactory agreement. Within his heart, he is beginning to realize that this is all wrong, that there must be some way in which there can be a meeting of the minds of man to solve his differences in peace and understanding, where man can come together in some sort of way to plan to live together without continually attempting to destroy one another. People all across the surface of planet Earth are searching within themselves, their minds, for some type of solution that could be the answer to these problems. I mentioned to you at the beginning of your present year that this would be a very eventful year in the experience of man of Earth. Already, you have seen some very unusual things come about in your weather conditions that have brought a great deal of discomfort to many of your people, a great deal of damage. But other events too are coming about. There will be events that will have great effect upon the political aspect of your planet. Also, there will be a noticeable change starting this year in the minds of many of your people. Many of them are going to come into the realization of what has been said to you long ago. There will be a crossroad in their lives when a great decision must be made. They are going to realize that they have reached a fork in the road. Either they must go right or left. The events in the future, in the next few years on planet Earth, will be affected greatly by which choice people make. Rather, how many choose the right path. Many have already made the choice. All of you here have done so. But there are still many who must make this choice. And as many makes this choice, if he decides to travel the road of service to his fellow man, the road of justice, of understanding, of peace, he is going to find a new knowing opening within his own being. The answers to his problems, to his fears, shall begin to become clear to him. For soon he will realize that if peace is to come to planet Earth, it must begin in the heart of man himself, each individual. And when enough people have found peace within their own beings, and only then will peace reign supreme upon your planet. Does this make sense to you, my friends? For how can man sit down around the conference table discussing methods of peace when none of these beings, practically none, have peace within themselves? When peace does not exist in their own hearts, when each has a different conception, they will never agree on a solution to true peace. There is so much being done for your peoples, from those outside your race, from those from other planets and the hierarchies. But they cannot force peace into you, for it is already there, but only you, my friends, can find it. Only you can go within your being to find this peace that is already there. Only you can cast out all these misconcepts, idealisms and isms of all kinds, and find the true you. For my friends, when you find this true you, you have found a great being, one who is capable of dealing with the great powers of the universe, the powers that are withheld from Earth people today because they have not found this peace, and therefore they are not capable of dealing with these things. My beloved friends, find that true you. Start searching deep within the inner man with great sincerity, with great love, and you shall find him, my friends, for he is there, right there, within your own heart. It has been most invigorating to spend this time with you, my friends. I extend my appreciation to you for accepting me into your midst, and to the hostess for accepting me also. May the peace, the love, and the understanding of the true Great Ones rest with each of you. Peace be with you, my friends. Peace be with you. Wednesday, April 25th, 1962. Peace be with you, my friends. Today, my friends, people of planet Earth are facing a situation that is quite appalling. We find the lives of millions and millions of your people hanging in the balance, so to speak, due to the fact that certain great powers, certain minds that hold in the palm of their hand the destiny for these people. Two great powers are struggling for supremacy. Two powers or ways of life, or perhaps we could say ideals of ways of life, of a few individuals. Neither, in their search for power, are considering the millions of lives that are being jeopardized. It is about time that these small people, or perhaps a better terminology would be the masses of people, begin to realize that the powers they possess by joining together in common bond. The decisions that are being made today are being made by a very, very small minority. They have gained power either through the control of money, wealth, resources, or through military might, which they can hold over their people. If the situation that exists today is to be solved for Earthman, it must start with the common man. Little effort has been spent in this direction. Great efforts could be spent to reach an understanding between the various races of people, and realizing that when they have joined together in common bond, made known their desires, that sooner or later these powers, or few who have been in control, must yield. There is great strength in numbers, and this need not be done by force, for enough of your people shall bond themselves together in this manner. Even the thought power created, the desire in itself would bring things into being that are desired. For when man desires within himself, the desire will be met. For this is a law of nature and will always respond. And so, by multiplying these things, you strengthen the law. The law acts and reacts much faster. But these things must be done in sincerity and in love, and desire to bring about that which is good for all man. The desires that have emanated from man in the past have been, to a great degree, selfish desires, each with his own desire to bring about something that he only desires for himself. But you see, if man begins to join together in common desire, how much greater will be the reaction of the law. It is quite amazing as we observe the actions of Earth people, the things that are going on in your civilization. It is amazing that so few have been able to hold the power over so many. Freedom is something that has been spoken of a great deal among your people, but as yet, Earthman has not experienced freedom. He yet does not know freedom. He only knows a degree, and only a very small degree of it. Today, communication facilities upon your planet have improved greatly. There is no reason why, if the effort were put forth that the people of Earth could join together to bring about the crumbling and falling of these powers, a greater freedom could be experienced as well as a great hazard lifted. For it is not only in your nation that people are seeking to know. The people are desiring for peace, are desiring freedom. The masses in their minds are not supporting these powers, but are only following through fear, and these fears must be overcome, for man must declare his right to live, his right to be free without gaining it through chaos, through force and violence. It would be well for your people to think upon these things, to think what they might do to bring about the conditions that they desire. For children of Earth, if these things are to be brought about, it must be done primarily by Earthman himself, for he is responsible for his civilization, and no other civilization can take that responsibility or do these things for him. They can only aid him as he desires to receive aid. It has been my most sincere pleasure to spend this time with you. Questioner: May I have one question, please? Source: You may state your question. Questioner: Are there any groups already established? Could understanding be used in that manner? Are there any suggestions you have? Source: Anyone can be used in this manner. Any group, any individual. Any individual can contribute and correspond, can contact those of other nations. There are many methods that can be devised to bring these people closer together in understanding. There can be group projects. It can be any number of things, even individual correspondence with those of other nations. It is up to man. If he does not desire these things enough to act, then he shall not receive. For man must act upon his own, for unless he is willing to help himself, how can anyone do it for him? Questioner: Thank you. Source: I extend to you, my friends, my peace and my blessings. Go in peace.